And Rob, we talked about it last week. What would it mean for Aaron Rodgers to lose this game and how it would affect his legacy? And look, when we talk about his legacy, obviously he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's still, a terrific quarterback and one of the best we've ever seen throwing the football. But Rob, I've seen it now, it seems like year after year. He doesn't rise to the occasion in the big moments. He did in the Super Bowl 11 years ago. And he's got that ring, and you can never take that away from him. And that's a big, that's a big part of his legacy. He's not Dan Marino. But if they're not going to win it, and they aren't this year, when are they going to win it? I mean, you had a top flight defense that you kept saying last week, and you were right. That's getting back some top flight defenders. You got a great running game.
The defense played great. They gave up 6 points. You
Absolutely.
give up 6 points, Chris, in a playoff game. 6 points, you win that game. Seriously.
And Rob, Roger, the special teams, as Will Blackman said, I mean, they lost the game.
Right.
The special teams lost the game.
Anybody that tells you that the special team didn't lose the game, they're lying to you. But it doesn't mean that he didn't play well. He still didn't play well, right.
Because here's the thing, you still got to give me more than 10 points. And I get that San Francisco's defense is great, right? But even Dak Prescott and the Cowboys got 17. And Rob, 17 would have been enough. Dak Prescott threw one touchdown. One touchdown pass would have been enough with what else you had. And Rodgers didn't deliver that, Rob. And you just look at a lot of the postseason, and we've put it all on, in the past. The defense gave up 44. The defense gave up 37. And that's true. But if you also look at those games, you'll see that Rodgers also didn't deliver offensively like he typically does, like he does in the regular season. We can go back to a lot of these games, and if you look at them, you'll see a lot of his playoff games, he didn't have full good games all the way through 4 quarters. It'd be like a bad first half, then he's on fire the second half, or playing better than the second half. Or a very good first half like that Seattle loss years ago, I don't know, 2013, 14, 12, whatever it was. And then a bad second half in overtime. And a lot of those games where the defense gave up 24 points in the first half, where they're down 27-0 to San Francisco in 2019. Yeah, the defense is atrocious, 27 points. But he didn't put up any points either. Or against 2016 when Atlanta had them down 24-0 at halftime, scored 44 in the game. Yeah, 24 points in the first half. The defense should be taken to the woodshed. But he didn't put up any points either. And so, Rob, like I said, there are certain guys that rise to the occasion. Some of them aren't really, I can't even hold Rodgers' jockstrap when it comes to, being a great quarterback. Like Eli, probably be a Hall of Famer. You think he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I think he'll get in for his clutch play and his playoff performances. He couldn't hold a candle to Rodgers as a quarterback, right? Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls. So I just think Rodgers, Rob, he's not, as to use your phrase, he's not that guy. He doesn't rise to the occasion. He's a regular season superstar, he's got his ring. Again, can't take that away from him, but he doesn't rise to the occasion in the playoffs for the most part.
Yeah, I get it, and we give quarterbacks too much credit when they win, so Aaron Rodgers is going to get beat up, and rightfully so, and the whole season he had, and the COVID and all that. So I get all that, and he didn't play well. He didn't play well enough. But there were a lot of issues there. And here's the other thing, too. I'm looking at Josh Allen. I'm thinking, I've seen this movie before. Like, I've seen this where you put up points and your guys can't, stop them. And it kind of reminded me of the earlier. This is the first time I said this, Chris, that I liked the Packers defense. They make plays.
Right.
They got an interception. They held them to 6 points. They played. I mean, you got to win that game. There's no doubt about it. But in Aaron Rodgers, and I get what you're saying in part of it, but when you talk about 5 of his 10 playoff losses, that defense has given up 37 or more points. And the other thing, too, is the defense, if you want to break down some of the numbers, and here's the other one. Aaron Rodgers he led game-tying drives a few times, Chris, never got the ball back. Like we just saw with Josh Allen. Like the same thing. Like you play great, you score a touchdown, and then you don't get the ball back,
right?
And the game is over. So those things kind of happen. If last night, the great game that Mahomes had, you would have been kicking like the Kansas City defense, like, my God, when they gave it up with 13 seconds to go.
Right. If he doesn't,
you know what I mean? Right. And you would
right.
be like, what else could Mahomes have done? So I've seen those games, and that's a part of his legacy.
Right. It's not excusing the defense.
No,
right.
not at all. Because those are unheard of numbers. Like, I don't think Tom Brady's ever played. I think he's played one playoff game where his defense gave up 40 or more, and that was in that Super Bowl, right? That they lost to the Eagles. Then they scored 30. What did they score? 38 points?
Yeah, that was a high-scoring game.
Like 38 points.
Score, yeah.
And then the other thing, too, is, like you can't have special teams play like that, Chris.
You can't. We talked about Mike McCarthy and the penalties all year, and you didn't correct them. And I like Matt LaFleur, but same thing.
Right.
All year they had the worst special teams in the league, and you scoff at special teams, right? It's not that big of a deal. You think of it just as the kicker, but no. I mean, this showed you better get your special teams units together too.
And think about this, Chris. The one was right before the half, right? They throw the 75-yard. Here's the other thing. When they were in the red zone, I think all 3 times Aaron Rodgers was sacked. On third down, they had three makeshift offensive linemen, but he got sacked 3 times, so they had to go for the field goal that would have put them up 10-0 at the half, where the defense had played great. So they get the block, so all of that first half for nothing, right? You're only up 7-0. Then they had another chance, and he wound up getting sacked too, and I think they only got a field goal out of it when they should have obviously got more. So there was a lot of things, but he needed to play better. They needed a big play from him, and 1 touchdown probably would have done it. The idea that when you let a team hang around and you don't put them away, like this is 2 weeks in a row now, we've seen Jimmy Garoppolo win playoff games with no touchdowns.
All he does is win, no matter what.
It's incredible, Chris. Am I right? He got 0 touchdowns and a pick in both playoff wins. And if he beats the Rams with no touchdowns this week, it'll be unbelievable.
And I'm not gonna praise him because he's had better drives. He's in the top 10 in game-winning drives since like 2019. He's had 7. But he did make again, it wasn't like he's had better drives, Cincinnati in the regular season, the Rams even.
Right.
But he did make those 2 nice passes in that late drive, that were critical and got them the win in the field goal position. So, but I had a friend of mine who's smart about quarterbacks. But he said he outplayed Rodgers. I wouldn't go that far. I don't think he outplayed him. He did make some nice little throws in the clutch, but he didn't outplay him. But Rob, I don't know if you saw this. The bomb that Rodgers threw at the end to Devontae Adams,
right,
with about 3 minutes left, 3.5, which I thought Rodgers was throwing it up like, look, we're either going to catch this and win this game. I thought he was thinking, or it's a punt.
Right.
Like
okay.
it's a punt.
Right.
So,
and then they tackle him there. Right.
He didn't even it was almost, he just heaved it. But Alan Lazard was wide open in the middle of the field. Wide open, Rob. 20 yards downfield. Right. If he hits him, they probably get in field goal position and maybe win that game. And I just thought Rodgers, he had 20 completions 18 of them were to Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. Like, he didn't spread the field. It's almost like he wasn't looking at these other receivers. And again, he just didn't get it done. And look, I just think that's it's on his legacy, and it's something that people are gonna remember.
I want to just give you one other number. We're just talking about the 37 points or more. A Brady defense, you ready for this? Has given up 37 points just 8 times in his entire career. So he's always
in the playoffs?
No, in his entire career.
Oh, wow.
Think about that number. That's an incredible number. And we're talking about that's happened to Aaron Rodgers 5 times in 10 playoff losses. So it's just a comparison. That doesn't excuse how he played on Saturday, and they're out of the playoffs. It's unbelievable that the 2 number 1 seeds that had the week off and all that to prepare and be ready, and they didn't get it done.
What do you think, Rob? What do you think he should do, will do? I know we don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, where are you going? I mean, I don't know where the
There's really no place better that's realistic. Like,
no, I
first
know.
of
That's
all,
the
I
problem.
don't really want to Pittsburgh. If he goes to Pittsburgh, I'll be happy because I like Mike Tomlin. They got good defense. You know, he's got good receivers, so they're going to be good. But if I'm him, I'm like, why would I go to the AFC where you got not only Patrick Mahomes, you got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Don't forget about Lamar.
Right,
like,
he ain't going nowhere. Right,
yeah. All pretty much all the great young quarterbacks are in the AFC. And then if you look, so Denver's there too. I mean, so Denver, that's the same situation.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Right?
Is that there's nowhere to hide.
I just feel like New Orleans, I would love if Sean Payton stays, but I don't know. They really don't seem to have any root to get.
They say that he might take over for Troy Aikman on Fox. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. So, but they say there's no way they can really get him in New Orleans. But Rob, other than New Orleans in the NFC, where's there a better situation than Green Bay? I just wonder, is it so, is there a feeling now in Green Bay like, it just isn't meant to be?
Yeah, it might be.
I mean, you know what I mean? Because
you can't be any better.
These last
They've
few
won
years,
13
they've been great.
games, right? Every year. They've had these games, and the last 2, and before, all those NFC games were on the road, but the last 2 years they were at home.
Yep.
Well, they weren't in the NFC Championship, but you know what I mean. They lost at home in the playoffs the last 2 years. But
and
they were set up.
I'm gonna say this, and I think you're on board. I think you're on board with me, Rob. There's a lot of trolling to Aaron Rodgers, what they called him, Breitbart star, and throw Rogan, for his views. I don't hold that against him at all.
No, but
I don't hold any
easy.
athlete's personal views against them when I'm critiquing them. I'm critiquing them totally from sports because I don't want anybody to hold my personal views against me. No, they might disagree with my views, and I disagree with a lot of athletes' views that aren't just like what Aaron Rodgers, anti-vax and all that. So I don't, that to me, for me, a lot of people are happy that Rodgers lost, Rob, because of that. That has nothing to do with my views. Right.
I'm with you on that. I just think it's easy, to want to, see, he lost, you know what I mean, and then pile on him or whatever. Right. But other than he should get the blame because we give the quarterbacks all the praise when they win. He should get the blame on a loss as well. Because had he thrown a touchdown, Chris, at the end, or put them in field position, he would have gotten all the love. Just like
here's the one silver lining for Rodgers, and again, assuming he comes back. Peyton Manning, Rob, 38 years old, in Denver, coming off a great year, had the same now he had been to 3 Super Bowls, but he had only won 1, and he was 11-13. In the playoffs, going into his last year. Then his last year, he's a shell of himself, has a terrible season. They win the Super Bowl, and all we remember is that he's a multiple Super Bowl winner.
And not only that,
so
Chris, the first
there's time for Rodgers.
The first quarterback to win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams.
Right.
He has So
you don't look at him. Remember, there was a lot of talk about Peyton Manning choking in the playoffs before.
We haven't heard that. You don't
really think about that anymore. So there's time for Rodgers. But it's just a matter of where's he going to end up and will he finally get it done? All right.